Okay, let's get NFL insider Dan Graziano in here. Dan, the Jets did make a quarterback move today, signing Trevor Simeon. Is that the end of the Jets and the quarterback additions, or you think we're going to see more of that?
I do think they'll continue to tinker as needed, but I mean, this is the kind of move that Jets fans should expect, if any, in the short term, right? Like the big, splashy, new starting quarterback to replace Zach Wilson is not walking through that door, at least not yet. Maybe closer to the trade deadline. If you're going to get a guy down the road, like hypothetically, a Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill, those teams are going to have to get deeper into the season and decide to wave the white flag. So Simeon gives the Jets another option to go to, in addition to Tim Boyle, who's been on the roster as the backup, in case Zach Wilson continues to falter. In the short term, I'm told the plan is to continue to roll Wilson out there. But Simeon is a veteran who has played in the league, and if Wilson continues to struggle and Simeon shows something in practice, he becomes another option that they could consider.
Yeah, Graz, they are sticking by Wilson, as you pointed out. We've got more from you coming later on in the show. And the Jets Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath weighed in on social media, posting, "I'm starting to wonder if Zach's playing like he's being coached. He's making choices that are not intuitive to the quarterback position." Dan, you buying what Namath is saying there?
Yeah, I am, because right now Zach Wilson is playing to make a good decision rather than the right decision. Two plays go back to last week. They're the same play essentially versus the same defense. The concept is really going to be three verticals. Garrett Wilson at the bottom of the screen has a go route. The slot has a middle bender, and the outside receiver another go route. Now, if there's one safety in the middle of the field, we would take our shot at one of those one-on-one opportunities. You're going to see two safeties, okay, versus cover two. We really want a two-on-one, the boundary safety, shorter side of the field with one of those go balls and then that middle bender. Now, Zach Wilson's going to go, okay, here's the check down. And everyone will sit there and go, that's a good decision, but that's not the right decision. Here's the thing. When you get this coverage and you have the opportunity to throw one of what we call a go route hole shot, this is how it has to happen. Zach Wilson should see that boundary safety and go, okay, I got a chance to throw it. Now, if you're going to throw that check down, it should be on your second hitch. Zach Wilson should at least catch the snap and go 1, 2, 3, give that hole shot a chance. And if he doesn't like it, that's fine. But second hitch, check the football down. I want everyone to pay attention to Zach's feet, okay? Catches the snap. 1, 2, 3, one hitch, check down. Sure, that's a good decision. It's not the right one. That is, I'm throwing the check down no matter what. Now you go later in the football game, and Zach Wilson's going to have the same exact concept versus the same exact coverage. We are going to have a go route and a seam route. There's two safeties, right? We want a two-on-one, that boundary safety. Now watch Zach Wilson, watch his feet. 1, 2, 3, hitch, and here comes that hole shot down the sideline before the safety gets there. It's the same pass concept. But one time, Zach Wilson goes, I'm going to make a good choice. And everyone's sitting there going through the check down. Great. And then one time he makes the right choice because he has the opportunity to rip that hole shot. And I think part of this is this. There's this philosophy probably in their organization of don't give the football away. We'll play great defense, and we'll have special teams be a part of it, and we'll have the chance to win games. Here's my feeling on that. The Jets defense never gets to play in attack mode because they never have the lead.
You better play.
They have to get Zach to a point where Zach plays with a mindset of aggression and make the right choice, not just a good one, because a good one is often riddled in fear rather than the right one is I'm trying to make the winning play, essentially.
I mean, look, Zach Wilson has to play better. We understand that. But I do feel like the blame that he is getting for the state of the offense is a little overstated because for a coach, it is easy to strut Aaron Rodgers out there and say, hey, make us right. Yep. That doesn't take a lot of coaching prowess to do that. But if you watch this film, I think there were moments where Zach actually put together a couple of good drives, but ultimately, receivers aren't getting schemed open. He didn't have a lot of options down the field.
Right.
Yes, it was wet, but there were drop passes, and they couldn't protect them. So it does not matter what quarterback is back there. If you don't have a game plan that can protect them, it won't matter. And that's the point. I think the coaches also need to kind of take a look in the mirror.
I hate associating this word with NFL football players, but he looks petrified.
No doubt.
And
petrified
really,
to make a mistake.
To make a mistake. And that's exactly where I'm going, Dio. That's why I'm glad you said what you said. Look, when you have a franchise, and to your point, Hawk, when you have a franchise that's trying to play around you, as a quarterback, your confidence will never come.
Yep.
Right.
Like this kid, I've said on this show with y'all and said, I feel terrible for him because this position that he's in right now is worse than last year.
Yeah.
See, last year you could play and people could say, well, I'm young. I haven't had the time to get ingratiated. A new offensive coordinator, a plan for a Hall of Fame quarterback, and now I come in the game with people's historical memory of how I played, and now you're asking me to be the starting quarterback for a team that had Super Bowl expectations. So now you start to call plays like that, to your point. Now your defense started to feel pressure, and they giving up plays.
The defense is never able to dictate the flow of the game. So everyone's like, they got to play better. Play better.
And that's the thing. It's not about Zach being scared to play quarterback. I don't want people to get it misconstrued. He's scared because his organization doesn't believe he can play the position at a high enough level for us to have success.
Don't blow the game.
Exactly.
That's kind of like the way, if you watch him play early in the game, it's don't blow it. And then later in the game, when they're down 10 with 8 minutes to go, it's like, all right, we got to find a way to
do.
You know, it's a business. We all get that. But you got to think about, from his perspective, number 2 overall pick, everything was put on him. And now here he is not being able to do it.